right, so today I'm going to be talking about how to get clients, and I'm going to be talking about the 10 marketing strategies that absolutely dominate social media. So you're on YouTube, you want to get clients, you probably want to do some sort of content in order to do that. You probably listen to some of my other videos and you know that content is the best way to get clients, and that's why you're watching this video. And I'm going to go over exactly how to do this. And this is coming from somebody who started several successful businesses that are completely based around creating content. I make over 300K per month with my first business. My second business, I already scaled it up to 100K per month in 3 months. And I am very good at getting clients, not only for myself, but I've also helped a ton of other people do it. And if you're wondering if, a high ticket business is the best way to make money, yeah, I think it pretty much is. It's still the best way to make money. There's other ways like starting a software or having a low ticket group that are pretty good, but overall, high ticket coaching, high ticket consulting, high ticket service, or some sort of product is typically the way to go, right? So I'm going to take you through the 10 social media strategies to absolutely dominate and get tons of clients. First one is going to be start off with a simple Calendly link, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen real quick. So you want to start off just by using a simple Calendly link. Now, this is my Calendly link that I use. It's already been modified a little bit, just tested and modified, but I'm going to go ahead and sign up here real quick just to kind of show you guys exactly how to do this. So, test, make test, email, hummus@gmail.com. That's my public email. And I'm going to actually purposely answer these in such a way where it rejects it. But actually here, having trouble, blah, 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 blah. Oh, crap. Okay. I got to make up a number. Okay. YouTube. All right. So you guys can kind of see like what all the questions are, right? You can see what all the questions are, blah, 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 and da, 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 da. Okay, so you can see what all the questions are here. Just make a simple one like this. Obviously, I get YouTube clients, right? I help people grow and make money on YouTube. I help them get clients on YouTube. I work with coaches, consultants, agency owners, online service providers, etc. Anyone who gets clients, essentially, and wants to use YouTube in order to do it. And you can see like how simple these questions are. And I booked a ton of clients just with this simple funnel right here. I mean, this is not even a funnel. It's just literally a Calendly. And then I make videos and I'm like, hey, if you want to book a call with me to see if we could potentially work together, go ahead and book a call down below. Very simple. I'm also not slimy where I'm like, book a free strategy session. No, I'm just like very straightforward. They know that it's, I'm going to try this to sell them something. And I think that direct approach, especially with this method, is pretty good because you want to attract people who are actually going to buy stuff, right? And so this is what you want to do. Make something simple like this. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different for you depending on what your niche is and all that kind of thing. But yeah, make something simple like this. And then, you know what? It's not going to let me do it because the phone number is not recognized. But yeah, make something simple like this. And basically, this is how you're going to book your first clients, right? And when you make content, you use this. Is it going to convert as well as a good VSL? No, it's not going to convert as well. But here's the thing. You can't make a good VSL until you know what your clients actually want. And you know the types of people that are either attracted to your offer or you want to be attracted to your offer, right? Because you might work with some clients and you're like, man, I don't want to work with this client anymore, this type of client, right? And then you might work with some other clients like, man, if only all my clients were like this is like my dream client, okay? And you're not going to know that until you've done this. So yes, realistically, my closing rate doing this was probably like 15% or something. But the way I look at it is I was getting paid to do market research. So what a lot of people do is they put the cart before the horse and they make their VSL before they've done any market research whatsoever. Right. And what I like to do is I like to just do a Calendly call. It's very inconspicuous, right? It doesn't seem like that scammy. It's not like a VSL page, that kind of thing. It's just like, oh, I can just book a call with this guy. And then you can accept whether you take a call with them or not based on their answers, right? Based on their answers, you can accept whether you take the call or not. And it's really simple. It's really simple. It's easy to do. I literally booked like almost 300 calls in a month. And of course, I canceled most of them by doing this. Like the first month doing this, I booked tons and tons of calls. And there's a saying in business, first get flow and then add friction. And if you just do your Calendly link, you are going to get a ton of calls booked, right? And this is going to be amazing market research for you. Not only these questions, but when you actually get on the phone with your prospects, you're going to figure out what their pain points are. You're going to figure out what they actually want. You're going to figure out who they are, what kind of background do they come from, et cetera, et cetera. So you're essentially getting paid to do market research, which is pretty freaking awesome, right? And so I highly recommend just using a simple Calendly funnel right when you get started. Now, once you've done some market research, you're going to set up a nice actual VSL. Now, VSL stands for video sales letter, of course. Here's an example of mine. So revealing the proven formula to make an extra 10 to 30K per month on YouTube with less than 10 hours of work each week. Step 1, watch this video until the end. And then step 2, apply. So what I use here, guys, is this is called Jotform. Okay, I use Jotform, and I'm going to take you through the questions. I'm just going to do, so just so we know not to do this, test, McTest. Oh, yeah, McTest. Test, McTest, McTest. Okay, next, what's your best email? Oh, God, okay, I'll just do this one again, shanehummus@gmail.com. Next, where are you located? United States. What is your contact number? Just making up some random stuff. What does your YouTube channel currently look like? Haven't started a YouTube channel yet. How willing and able are you to invest in the growth of your YouTube channel and business? So obviously I'm just asking some obvious, some questions just to get some context and just to, so I can better help them and stuff. Now this one is really important. How willing and able are you to invest in the growth of your YouTube channel? Now what I do on Jotform, again, this is Jotform, and of course it's embedded into the page. But what I do is I set it up to where there's automations. So if somebody ever selects unable but willing or not willing, I'm not going to take a call with them, right? Just straight up. I'm not going to take a call with them. However, if they're willing and able and excited to get started, or willing and able, then I likely will take a call with them. Now, you can get really complicated and you can have kind of an appointment setting team, like reach out to these guys as well. That's an option that you can do. If they're, for instance, if they're unable but willing, you could have an appointment setting team, reach out and vet them. That's a little bit more advanced, but let's just say willing, able, and excited to get started. So I'm taking you guys behind the scenes. I'm telling you like why I do all these things, exactly what I do, etc. So we only work with students who have sufficient startup capital. A YouTube personal brand business requires capital for education, startup costs, and training. Do you currently have access to investment capital ranging from $1,000 to $6,000 USD? Note, this amount is based on hundreds of successful students. So so this is one of those questions that's also very important. So you always want to toe that line. Like I'm making it pretty obvious to them that they're going to have to pay here. Like I'm not straight up saying like the program is, $6,000 or $12,000 or whatever. But I'm telling them that like it's going to cost thousands of dollars and you're going to have startup capital. And again, if they answer, no, I do not have the funds nor have access to it, then it's an automatic no. But if it's, I'm just going to select no just because I don't want this to actually book. But yeah, if they select either of these two, then it's a yes. And again, Jotform does all of this automatically. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead. Okay, for some reason it skipped it. I'm not sure why that happened. But what do you do for an occupation right now? YouTuber, okay. With principles, strategies, and systems we teach inside, we are able to help students like you to make their first 10K to 30K per month or more. What monthly revenue goal would be both realistic and a big win for you over the next 6 to 12 months? So, like 10,000 per month. What is your estimated overall monthly income? This is another really important one. So I emphasize overall because I've had business owners tell me that they only make like 1,000 a month and then they say like, oh, I didn't know you meant my business. I thought you meant like my job or some like stupid stuff like that. But yeah, you want to get this as well, because if they don't have enough money to pay, like if they're less than $1,000 a month, then you're probably not good to go. Now, again, you can set up an appointment setting team if someone answers 1,000 to 3,000 or like 3,000 to 5,000 or something like that. You can set up an appointment setting team and have them reach out to them. Or if you're not getting enough calls, you can enable these and that kind of thing. So yeah, this is one of those things where obviously if they're, for us, if it's 5 to 10K a month or more, then it's an automatic yes. If it's 3 to 5K per month, it's a maybe. And then if it's 1 to 3,000 a month, it's typically a no, but you can have an appointment setting team reach out to them. So again, all of this is automated on Jotform, so we don't have to do it manually. But yeah, I'm going to go 1 to 3,000. What are your biggest challenges, obstacles right now that are keeping you from achieving your goal? Blah, blah, blah. If a trusted advisor on our team presented, and again, that last one is just again for you to know some information so that you can help them overcome those obstacles. If a trusted advisor on our team presented a suggestion that would help you grow your YouTube channel to the goals you stated above, would you implement on it? This is another one where if they answer no, then it's an automatic no. But yes, if I understand, or yes, no questions asked is good. And this is just kind of a compliance thing. If they're just being a jackass, we don't want to work with them. But yeah, and it's just kind of to see what they're, like a heat check, right? Like see where they're at. How soon do you want to start growing your YouTube channel? Yesterday, right away, within the next few weeks, within a few months. I think, again, within a few months are too busy right now. I think the within a few months is a maybe for us. Sometimes it depends on how busy we are. Like if we have a lot of calls, we might enable this. But if we don't have a lot of calls, then we'll probably, if we have a lot of calls, we'll probably disable this. So it's an automatic no. If we do have a lot of calls, eventually. So that, like if we enabled this to where within a few months is a yes, then we would get more calls. If we have too many calls, we just disable it, right? So, but then within the next few weeks and right away and yesterday are definitely yeses. So I'll just select a random one. How willing and able, and by the way, the reason I do that, guys, is because I don't want to get on a phone with a bunch of people who are just like, oh, well, I'm not going to start it yet, but I'll be doing it next month, that kind of thing. Like I want to be on the phone with them when they're ready to start, generally speaking. How willing and able are you to invest in the growth of your channel? So we already went over that one. And then, yeah, this one. Then you submit it. And then after you submit it, it's going to take you to a free monetization guide, right? So this is the download my YouTube ultimate monetization guide right here. So there's some kind of like some information for them. There's also some testimonials, etc. So yeah, this is some good stuff. And that's essentially what you can do. You can also do kind of like a thank you page type of thing where you essentially just, oh, by the way, if it's a yes, then it automatically goes to the thank you page. If it's a no, which this one was a no, it does a monetization guide, right? So again, this is all just completely automated on Jotform. So if it was a yes, it would take me to a thank you page where they would watch a video to get ready for the call. So have them do a little bit of homework for the call. But since it's a no, we just give them a free monetization guide. And yeah, that hopefully, they get some value out of that. And yeah, they can hopefully just try to start on their own. And so, yeah, that's essentially what more of a complicated VSL funnel looks like. And this is, this is a funnel that is doing 100K per month. So, it's crushing it. So, yeah. Another one that you can do, guys, actually really simple. And before you do the complicated one, if you just want to do a really simple one like this, I mean, you can absolutely crush it. So this is my friend Bass. He has a mastermind that's like $50,000. And this is the VSL for his mastermind. Like it's literally just the deliverables, and that's pretty much it. It's just the deliverables. Like it's like the most simple VSL ever. He just takes them through like, here's the team, here's the deliverables, here's what we're gonna do for you, and all that kind of stuff. So really, really simple stuff. Yeah, you can just take them through something like this. So just make a Google Doc. It was recorded with Loom, right? So yeah, if you don't want to make a complicated VSL, you can make something simple like this and it works. It works especially well for B2B. So if you're doing B2B, this works especially well. It doesn't work quite as well for B2C, but you can still get away with doing it for B2C as well. And again, it works pretty well, and you can, make these really quickly, and you can kind of test and reiterate. It's not going to work well as a super fancy VSL, but it's pretty close and it's much easier to make. And if you're not 100% sure exactly what your clients want and exactly what you should put on your VSL, then I recommend doing something like this. And then you can kind of test and reiterate and see, what gets them to actually take action. Okay. So the next thing, number 3 is going to be a lead magnet for email marketing. So this is our lead magnet we're using right now. So it's essentially just a free monetization guide. I talk about how I went from -6 figures to +7 figures in net worth on YouTube with no fancy equipment or millions of subs to my name. I simply had the right system in place to create viral content, save time, and make money. And I'll show you how to do the same. And, this is an in-depth guide, and, here's a few testimonials from people I've helped, and get your free guide now, right? So basically this is designed for them to collect their email. If they were to click on this, they have to put their email address in there to get it, and it's delivered to their email, and then they would get on my email list. And we get like 3,000 subscribers a month at least doing this. So yeah, it's another good way of capturing value. And basically, the reason lead magnets are so important, guys, is because just getting somebody on your email list, for every like $1 you spend on your email list, you get $35 back on average, $35 to $40 back. It's one of the most profitable methods of marketing, and it's tried and true. It's been working for like 25 years or something. And it's always going to work. Okay. As much as I remember, I used to think like, oh, nobody does their email anymore, but no, people still buy via email. I mean, they buy all the freaking time via email. So you should definitely be collecting emails. Very important to basically capture value and get people in your ecosystem. Okay. So that's number 3. Number 4 is weekly live webinars. Now, I started doing these, and by the way, these are live, right? These are not webinars where, it's like pre-recorded or anything like that. These are live webinars, and I started doing these when I went to this mastermind, and I met some guys that were doing like 3 million a month, some guys that were doing 1 million a month, and they were absolutely crushing it, and they all did weekly webinars, and they were always live. And and they were like, yeah, the webinar is one of the biggest ways that we make money. And I was just like, okay, all right, I got to start doing this. This is definitely something I need to do. So I started doing these weekly webinars. And basically what you want to do is keep these webinars incredibly simple, guys. I can't emphasize how important this is. Keep them simple. Simple webinars, guys. This is the way to go. You do not want to make your webinars complicated. You might think like, oh, it's a webinar, I'm going to give away like the best stuff. No, you want to keep it simple and just talk about the biggest stuff that makes the biggest difference. And that's exactly what I do in my webinar. I keep it super simple, and I just talk about the 80-20, the Pareto principle, the 20% that gets the 80% of the results. And again, just imagine you had a time machine. You're going back in time. What would you tell yourself if you had 1 hour to talk to yourself? That's what you want to put in your webinar, okay? You also want to tell your story. Make sure you tell your story at the beginning of your webinar. You guys can attend my webinar if you kind of want to see how it's done. And yeah, you tell your story. You start the webinar with the value proposition that you're going to give them. You get them excited about it. Then you tell your story. Then you get into the 3 steps or whatever, the 3 big secrets, or 3 easy, simple secrets or something like that. And then at the very end, you do a Q&A. Right after you do the 3 secrets, you pitch, right? You pitch for them to get on a call with you so that you can, potentially have them join the coaching program. And then right after that, you do a Q&A session. And during the Q&A, you continue pitching, right, for the entire Q&A session. So that's essentially how webinars are done. There, I just saved you like $10,000, people teaching you how to do these webinars. That is how they're done. You can watch my webinar if you kind of want to see, how it's done. So webinars, incredibly lucrative. One guy I know who's absolutely crushing it. He's doing $1 million a month. He's actually one of my clients. What he does is he actually has an outbound sales team call every single person who attends the webinar. So he has them call every single person, and this actually doubles the total amount of revenue that they book per webinar. So this isn't something I'm currently doing because I don't want to manage an outbound sales team, but obviously it's a smart thing to do. So, and again, this is like cutting edge stuff, guys. This is not something you're going to be hearing in very many places. But yeah, you can hire an outbound sales team. His sales team is from Ireland, and they're Irish, and yeah, they're outbound. They call every single person who attends the webinar right after the webinar. If they didn't sign up, or if they tried to sign up and they weren't quite sure if they were qualified. And yeah, it literally doubles the amount of money they make per webinar, which is absolutely absurd. So that's a pro tip on how to do that. I'm going to be implementing that pretty soon, but I'm not doing it right now. And yeah, everyone wants to make these like evergreen, webinars. And first of all, it's so fake. Like, people can always tell that it's not live. And it's just unethical to pretend like it is live. And honestly, guys, it's like 1 hour a week of your time just to jump on for 1 hour a week, do the little webinar. That's it, right? It's not that much time. It doesn't take that long. And these things absolutely crush. So obviously, you got to have a bit of an audience to do this, but webinars can be really good. Some people also run paid ads to get their webinars filled up. But if you don't have as big of an audience, and you don't think you can get weekly webinars filled up, what I want you to do, and this is number 5. Weekly webinars was number 4. What I want you to do, number 5, is quarterly challenges. And you could do monthly challenges maybe as well, but that might be a little bit too much. But what I want you to do is quarterly challenges. Now, I don't have an example of this, but a couple guys that do this all the time are Serge Guattari. And basically what a quarterly challenge is typically lasts a few days. So it's like 3 to 7 days. And they come onto your challenge and they basically stay with you for an hour or two each day. And then at the end, in the 7-day period, you hard pitch them, right, on your coaching program, okay? So these challenges, you do give a lot of value. You actually go more in depth in these challenges. But with that being said, they absolutely crush. And especially if you just do them once a quarter, they crush. So Serge Guattari does these all the time. He absolutely crushes it with these. Iman Gadzhi also does these every 3 months. The world is ending. It's like... and the way that you can stop the world ending is to buy his SMMA course, which is pretty funny. But yeah, he does these challenges essentially like every 3 months or so. And same with Serge Guattari. He does them like every 3 months, sometimes a little bit more often. You could even do these every month, but that might get a little repetitive. You want it to be exclusive. You don't want it to be something where if they miss out, they can just do it the next week, or they can just do it the next month, right? You want that feeling of it being exclusive, and so people actually attend them. And yeah, these can be really valuable as well. I've attended these before, and they're super valuable, and they dive a little bit deeper on these. So this is a way to spend if you do like a 7-day challenge, it's a way to spend like 7 to 14 hours with your prospects, and they're very, very likely to buy after spending 7 to 14 hours with you. So yeah, that's another really good way of making money. Quarterly challenges, amazing way of making money. Unfortunately, you can only do them like once a quarter or maybe once a month at most. Next one is going to be appointment setting. So somebody who is an absolute beast at appointment setting is my friend Bass. He actually teaches people how to become appointment setters. And essentially, Instagram is a really good platform for appointment setting. And this is basically where typically, people follow your profile, and people engage with your content, and you basically just reach out to them. Now, another way of doing this, if it's not on Instagram, is like a Facebook group or something like that. But we're going to get to that here in a moment. But yeah, appointment setting followers is what we're talking about. And this is number 6 on the list. So yeah, basically your followers, anyone who follows you, anyone who engages with your content, anyone who, likes your content, you can reach out to them and basically try to set up appointments with them via the DMs. So this can be a really good way of getting clients. There's some people that are absolutely crushing it doing this. It works better with some offers rather than others. But yeah, this can be a really good way of getting clients. Next, number 7 is going to be getting people into free groups. So here's an example. You can do this on Facebook, Telegram, school, the Discord, like all kinds of different examples. But here's one really good example. This is Andrew Kirby, really cool guy. He's working with school right now. I've worked with him before as well. Really cool guy. And basically, he has this free synthesizer group, and it's got 9,000 members, which is pretty nuts. And he's got a ton of people in here. And whenever he needs to, he can just appointment set with these people. He can drop an offer, be like, hey, I'm looking for new clients. I'm looking for 3 to 4 new clients. Apply here, that kind of thing. You can drop an offer, and he can basically just print money with this group. Same thing with a Facebook group, same thing with other things, Telegram, etc. Now, one downside to this is you do have to put a lot of effort into keeping it sort of lively, right? You don't want your group to die, right? You want your group to be lively. You want people to be interacting in your group. And so that can be a little, it's a little bit of work to do that, right? So that can be kind of a downside to it. But the next one, instead of getting people into free groups, we're going to be talking about a low ticket group. So these are groups where you actually have to pay. So there's a couple different examples. This one is Adonis Gang. This is one of the biggest groups on School. He's got 132,000 members in Adonis Gang, which is absolutely absurd. And they're all paying $1 per month. So he's making $132,000 a month with people that are paying $1 per month, which is just crazy. And then, of course, he upsells them to a higher level group, which is this group, which is $129 a month. And then after that, he upsells them to like a coaching program, which is much more expensive. So basically, he's got like 2,000 members at $129K per month. I mean, that's like $250,000. So this guy's making like $500K per month just on MRR, which is nuts. And that doesn't even count him upselling people to the coaching program. So yeah, this is basically a good way of making money. You can make a good amount of money right off the bat. This guy is absolutely, he has a freaking ridiculously big following. And Hamza and like, honestly, most people are not going to be making anywhere near this much with a low ticket group. But he also has like a lot of young guys following him. So that's one thing you also want to keep in mind. He's got a lot of young guys following him. So it makes a little bit more sense for him to do something low ticket. Whereas most of you watching this are probably just going to want to do a low ticket group, maybe starting off at, I don't know, $50 a month, something like that. Maybe even $129 a month if you're selling something to B2B. And then you upsell people in the low ticket group. So people who have actually bought something are exponentially more likely to essentially buy other things from you, right? So they're some of the best leads you could possibly have. So you're not going to be wasting your time if you do this. And again, there's a lot of work because you have to keep the group lively. So you have to put work into content. You got to put work into, you got to probably hire people to manage the group and all that kind of thing. So it is a little bit of work, but it's a phenomenal way of making money. Of course, you'd hire appointment setters to be inside the group. You'd have them DM people. You'd have them get on calls, and then you'd have them sign up for your coaching program, right? So this is another phenomenal way of making money. The next thing is going to be retargeting people who watch your content with paid ads. Okay, so obviously what you guys are doing is you're making content, specifically content on YouTube. Is the best, right? That's the most profitable platform. There's, people making $100 million a year on YouTube, whereas there's no other platforms where people are making $100 million a year. And so these are some examples of my clients, for instance. And just to give you an example, Thomas, he makes about $850K per month. He retargets people that watch his YouTube channel with paid ads. So people who watch his YouTube channel, he retargets them on YouTube. And then he also retargets people who visit his landing page with Facebook. Okay, so Facebook ads. And this is how he's able to get a significant amount of his revenue and how he's able to predictably scale. Because if he ever, has less clients, he'll just spend more money on ads. If he ever has, too many clients, he'll just stop spending money on ads. So he has control over how many clients he has, which is really nice. And that's one thing that's great about paid ads. Now, when you retarget people with paid ads, they're much, much more likely to actually be customers than if you're targeting a cold audience. And so that's why it's so profitable to actually target people with paid, retarget people with paid ads. So retargeting ads are amazing. Now, after you've done retargeting ads for a while, you're gonna gather a bunch of data and know exactly the type of person who's likely to buy from you. And then at that point, you can move on to step number 10, which is you can actually target a cold audience based on your audience data. Okay, once you have the data, you can start targeting a cold audience, and you're gonna be like 10 times more likely to be profitable with your ads when you do that, because you can kind of just target lookalike audiences to the people who are already buying stuff from you. And it's gonna be much more likely that you're gonna be able to make money, right? So those are the 10 steps. Just to go over these very quickly again. Step 1, start off with a simple Calendly link for coaching. I can't tell you how many people have spent like months and months creating some kind of crazy VSL only to realize it's not even the clients they want to attract, or it's not even what people want. So just start off with a simple Calendly link for coaching. You can even start, maybe charging $100 an hour for coaching just to gather data, right? Just to understand what people actually want. And you can get some testimonials doing that as well. Then step 2, direct to VSL funnel. You're going to start a direct to VSL funnel. That is going to be, better than a Calendly link, but only better once you actually know what your clients want. Then you're going to start doing lead magnet to email marketing. So you're going to start collecting emails. Very important you do this pretty early on. Then step 4, you're going to be doing weekly webinars. These are absolutely amazing to do. These absolutely crush it. However, if your audience isn't big enough, you can also just skip step 4, go to step 5, which is monthly or quarterly challenges. And these typically last a few days, somewhere between 3 and 7 days. And these absolutely crush it. In fact, these do better than the weekly webinars, but of course you can only do them every once in a while. Then step 6, you can start appointment setting your followers. So this is a little bit hard to do on YouTube. You have to get a little creative with how you do this because you can't actually message people on YouTube. So you'd have to, have them email you, or, have a call to action email you, or something along those lines, or get them onto another platform where you can then appointment set them, basically do a call to action on your YouTube channel to add you on, Instagram, for instance, and then message you, and then you can start appointment setting them. But yeah. Number 6, appointment setting followers. Number 7, getting people into free groups. Okay. So getting people into a free group where you can then have appointment setters talk to them and see if they're a good fit for your product, qualify them, and then get them on a phone call, and then, sell them, right? Then number 8 is a low ticket group. So something where you're charging anywhere from $1 to $250 a month. You can actually make decent money with a low ticket group, but you're charging monthly. And essentially what you're doing here is you are getting them into a low ticket group that gives a lot of value and it has a lot of great stuff, but they don't get that one-on-one coaching support that they would get if they worked with you directly. And so therefore there's an incentive to upsell them to the coaching product for people who want to save time. Number 9, retarget with paid ads. This is, something that's super effective once you have an audience and you're making content and people are following you. And then number 10, running paid ads based on audience data. So this is when you venture out into the unknown and try to do cold audience, run paid ads to a cold audience, but you have data backing you, so you're much more likely to be successful. And yeah, those are the 10 steps. These are the 10 things that are working insanely well right now, guys. If you want to keep it simple, just do a normal Calendly link and then a direct to VSL booking, and then just get people on the phone, because that's a super simple funnel. And sometimes simplicity is the best way to go. But if you want to get more complicated down the line, you can add some of these other things in as well, and you can make even more money.